was the right way of doing things. Oh, and we got a Jordan here today too. Hi, Jordan. Hi, Destiny. And Robin, you can recognize Jordan down there, who at times looks like exactly like Yvonne, and it's almost disturbing. But fucking Croatian Serbians, they're all, yeah, yeah, that. Hi, y'all. Let's just come into a little bit of sacred space here together. If you'd like to go into your temple, I think it's always a good practice. Coming into your root. Aust. 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 And giving permission for any energies that want to activate in there to turn on now. And hi, y'all. I am, as maybe you have been, feels very bipolar. So today is mania. Take the mania over the other stuff. Thank goodness. What's been coming through for today is a little bit of share, a little bit of activation, but we're really just here to be together. So welcome to the family. And as we all arrive here, it's funny just watching even how the synchronicities will begin to like link up for us, and we'll be listening to the same things and talking about the same things and having the same conversations with different people. This is how it goes in all ways. As we have been en route, survival, huh? Yeah, you want to give me that look, sassy Maddie? What I was recognizing yesterday for myself is dream. It started downloading last night. Integration Nation started downloading to me last night, and my body has been in severe trauma for 2 days, like curled up in a ball, cannot breathe, do not like fucking frozen. The survival piece of this root Shenka, this life and death piece. My bestie gave birth in a horrendous experience. Quite easily could not have made it back to this realm several times. And that same day I was talking to a girlfriend whose father was dying. So this place of life and death, for me in root Shenka, has not been a fucking joke. The traumas, I think, of it are the most... Marilyn might have better words. They're revealing. They're coming up to be healed in ways that are fucking beautiful, and I'm so grateful they're here. And at the same time, it has me on my goddamn ass in a way where I'm like, fuck, and frozen and watching these places that I haven't known how to move before. The word, instead of survival for me in root, has been safety. As in, I don't feel safe in this body. I don't feel safe from an ex-husband who's a fucking shitwad, no matter how many opportunities I give him to evolve. It is just... and thank you, let's just say, like, he's not physically unsafe. He is energetically so destructive to me over and over. So Marilyn helped yesterday, and, like, I fucking moved that through. And I don't always know how to feel safe and to be me in this body. And I think for me, that's root. That's fucking root right there. When we leave the perfection of all that is and choose to take on a body, this is what we learn in root. How do I feel safe here, and why the fuck do I choose to be here? These are the lessons of root. So with that being said, hey, how's y'all's experience of root been? I'm gonna drink some coffee and shut up now.
My experience has not been nearly as heavy. Um, I think I have been coming back to me more and more in these last 2 weeks, like really remembering who I am as a being, as a human, you know, and remembering, like actually finding a new sense of safety in my being. And um, like Marilyn, I can't wait for you to get the recording and catch up on the class this morning. But like I sat in a UCC sovereignty class this morning, and like fuck y'all, holy, the level of deception that we have been living within, and believing that it is our reality is just like it's staggering. It's staggering. And then to understand that there are tools and mindset to step out of that, and having the courage to claim it, because it's going to take some courage, because you got to be ready to stand in your own authority as the authority. So like I think building this new sense of being and safety in my own self, I think that's really been my experience. And just I've been up since 4, so that's all I got for today. UCC means Universal Commercial Code. So essentially, the entire world operates under the Universal Commercial Code, which is Admiralty law, which is the law of the sea, the law of the water. This Earth ship is sailing under UCC, and you are anytime you go into a courtroom, you're not going in under constitutional law. You're going in under military law, under admiralty law. So it's lots of things that we can put in another space, but like just it's so integral in the building of this new earth that we want to bring through, is to be able to stand in our own sovereignty and to know that no one holds authority over us.
I'm going to drop in one thing here in case sovereignty is a new concept legally, right? We can claim spiritual sovereignty, which I think we've all been doing. We've got a couple of family members that are participating in this sovereignty class who I know that y'all will be bringing a ton forward as you learn. But essentially, like, you are not considered a living being according to the law. Your name is sold, your likeness is sold, everything is like given away as soon as you were born, as soon as you were registered through a social security number. You are considered a corporation and money is taken out against your life force and livelihood. So we will just say that. And it is scary. And even like for me, whenever I've like had conversations, I'm like, no, I don't.
Lorraine, maybe you can drop the names of some people to follow for that in the chat. And then if anybody wants to do some research, they can dive in because it is a really big, complicated.
It's complicated. Yeah.
It really is. And I will maybe make a Mighty Networks post on
Thank
it
you.
with some Instagram pages to follow, and there you go. There's one. And I've got one book that's like, so I'll send that. And also the lady that's teaching the course that I'm currently in, and Marilyn is enrolled in, is in the mid. She's written a book and it's in its editing stage, and it should be out this summer. And that will be something that you'll want to get your hands on. Awesome. Thank you guys. I'm gonna check those out too. Because actually, it's sometimes like until you kind of get into this world, like it's hard to find anything on it. It's really hard to find anybody talking about it, having success with it, because it's such a such a gray area, and
And it's a shadow band area. It's not
oh,
just gray.
oh, oh yeah, it's
It's hidden.
depressed
Yeah.
heavily. Yeah.
So there's one experience of root. Cool. There's two experiences of root. Any other traumas or survival or hard ass real life shit showing up for everybody?
I mean, I also ended up working with Marilyn just to kind of try to figure out the bigger energetic stuff that was going on behind what was happening with me. It's interesting, Andy, like the past 2 days I've been like coming out of mine, but I was like kind of out of commission all week, like Monday through Wednesday for sure. Just having to rest. Of course I had the hemorrhoids or whatever, so it was very uncomfortable. I was feeling really uncomfortable in my body. And then I also struggle with autoimmune stuff. So, you know, that's been kind of flared up too. So there's just been like a lot of like, what is the root of these problems?
And health stuff, right? It is very life or
Mhm.
death in that way. These are not spiritual afflictions. They're like in the matter.
Yeah. So I had never done theta either. So Marilyn was so patient and wonderful to walk me through it. And I got a lot out of it. I ended up having some past life stuff come up. So I've been working with that. Yeah, so it was nice. It feels like I turned a corner, and I'm really happy to be here with everyone today. And I'm looking forward to maybe moving on to the sacral, which will be its own can of worms, but different.
Health stuff show up for anybody else?
I had some. It felt like when we put the root in place, it just like threw all my shit off to the side. And then I woke up one day and couldn't turn my neck to the right, which was fun. But I went to the chiropractor who helped me. And then I also sat and like reset the shed like more more center, because I don't know where it was. It was somewhere else. It was like, oh no. I was like, no. You must come back.
Marilyn, can you share a little bit of what you said to me yesterday with it not necessarily being root, but everything really was?
Yeah, so my experience really with the root was pulling from different parts of my body where that fear and survival have kind of made their way to. So I was in spine, I was in womb, I was in heart space. And so what's interesting is, since leaving my job, there was like a whole reorganization of my field, my energetic field. And so every time I wanted to do theta on myself, it was like, no, put that on the list, because it just wasn't the right timing with this huge restructuring, right? So I literally had a long list of things that I have to give it to the guides. Like, I had no idea the Jupiter, Neptune, and Pisces conjunction was coming on, but it was like ego was gone, and it was the perfect opportunity to dive at a depth that I don't think I've ever gotten to, particularly with my subconscious mind. And so I was able to get to things that cleared with theta, at least it clears DNA, genetic, ancestral, at a soul level. And so there was tons of stuff that cleared. And to Loren's point, it was really bringing me back to the truth of who I am, without all this stupid conditioning and programming that we've taken on for lifetimes. So it was really interesting to be quite literally all over my body. That's not what I was expecting at all. I really thought I was just going to be in the root, and that's not what happened for me.
Thank you, honey. That truth of who I am, I just want to recognize, is so beautifully a part of this dream school process, to become self-created, to take the full consciousness of your God self and to put it into form. This is the ask of this round of dream school and of us as a community, as a family. And I love hearing how differently it shows up for all of us. And this is what we do when we come together here. You'll hear one of us talk. You're like, oh shit, that's what was going on. And this is the benefit of it, because we don't want anyone out there on their own having these experiences just like losing your shit. No. We come back here and we're like, this is with purpose. We can give each other courage. We can give each other perspective. All of this is with great purpose, and it will allow us the resilience to keep moving on, even when we're having our asses handed to us, because sometimes that's what it looks like too.
Can I just share one more thing? It was quite literally a subconscious dump, which was interesting. I mean, to the point where stuff from my 20s that are not in service to my highest and best they just cleared it out. It was really super interesting. So I'm just going to show you this. I've been working with my obsidian gua sha, as I had it on my womb or on my spine, whatever, while I was working, and it literally just broke. So it literally I just got up and it just broke.
Done, bitches.
So it was done. Yeah. It was really,
Congratulations.
Really interesting week.
I'd like you to throw it out a window, but I don't want it to hit anybody, but that would feel really good. Shatter it. Oh.
So for me, I had a bunch of money wounds. My shit was in money.
Thank you. Thank you only for clearing it, because I know what powerful work you do. Thank you. Fucking
yeah. So I've been I just formed a new business with there's 4 of us total. We've been working on our offering, and last weekend specifically, we came together because we're all in different parts of the state, and we came together to do kind of a work retreat, some focused work on our first offering, and pricing came up. And what we're doing is amazing. What we're doing is worth 5 figures, no question. And 3 of us have worked on our money stories. We've expanded things, and we're kind of on the same page as far as yes, we think that this is a big deal and that we should be earning for this work that we've been putting in. And then the 4th is on a different page, and she has just, and even as I tell this story, I run into this thing where I feel like I'm saying that I'm farther along my journey and she is not as far along the journey. And it's it's not that at all. It's that 3 of us have worked on this specific thing that she has not been able to work on yet, or whatever, or she is wherever she is in the journey. It's not a hierarchical thing. But as we were pricing it, it became very clear that it was a big problem, that she was not ready. She didn't believe that she could receive something like a $10,000 paycheck. And so processing through the whole thing, I realized that it's my problem was that my expansion was now being hindered by somebody else. And not to say that I'm further along or she has other, not to put any kind of judgment on that, but that's what was getting projected on the whole situation. And I'm no, I want to bring you along into this. I want the 4 of us to move together as a sisterhood into this new step in our business. And that's just not, she just wasn't getting that from the whole thing. So we left it we will finish this conversation later. Everybody needs to process. And so that was Sunday when we left it. And now, so this whole week, I've just been what did I do wrong? Was it me? I don't want to make somebody feel bad because of my beliefs, but I just want the best for her. I have big dreams for us, and she has big dreams for us. And I'm why? What is the step here? I want to help build the bridge so that you can get here. But of course, being the projector, nobody wants to listen to me unless they're ready to listen to me. So it's been, this whole week has just been what can I do? What can I do? And there's literally nothing to do but sit and wait for her to come around, which I like have complete faith that she will. And like we're gonna move forward, and it's just gonna it's like something that needed to happen. It's conversations that needed to happen in order for us to like work in partnership. So I'm ultimately glad it happened. All is good, and like my higher awareness sees that all is good, but then the body and the root is like, this hurts, and I hate making people feel bad. That wasn't my intention.
Ashleen, you didn't fucking make her feel bad. She
No,
already
I
feels
know.
bad around her money stuff. The fact that you have worked to heal it, thank you for healing it.
Thank you.
And other people, like, it's just a different time. They'll get to it when they want to get to it, or they'll suffer with it.
Right.
So I keep hearing you with all of these words, even before you got to the big tears of like, I don't want to be, and I don't want to, and I don't.
And I know, and that's the whole thing is like, I'm bilocating in this awareness of this experience where I can see like what I'm doing is the right move. I am completely, like, I have total faith in that. And yet, it's the whole, and yet it still sucks.
Yes,
And
and. Yes, and.
yeah. And I've been equating it to getting a massage. Like, I feel like got an energetic deep tissue massage where all of these blocks were busted up and are coming to the surface. And like this last week after that whole thing happened has just been like energetic lymphatic system has just needed to like move it through.
Yep.
So
Traumas and the wounds have been massive.
yeah.
Good job, honey.
And then, oh my gosh, okay, so funny thing, I looked after the whole situation. I happened to see a post about the human design transits that were happening. And that weekend, like April 5th through the 9th or something, it was the gate 51, which is the gate of like, I don't remember what it's called, but it's all about making big money decisions and like really impactful money decisions that seem like a firework out of nowhere. But that's what the gate, like, it's like, it was literally the energy of the cosmos.
Well, and wasn't that the Jupiter Neptune? I called it the Jupe tune the other day. I think I slammed some words together and I was like, Nupiter? Super fucking cute. But like that energy was like huge prosperity bubble, right? So yeah, you guys pay attention, like the money stuff, that's it too. That is
Physicality, it's
material
material.
world. And I'm going to share something that Dina and I shared personally too, because Dina's like, the dreams that we have are too small. Like, we have to dream so much bigger to actually get to what we're worth. Because we still are looking, as Loren said earlier, like we're looking through this lens of reality being this. We're beginning to understand that reality is like, oh, fuck. I'll have a song for you guys whenever we get to that oh fuck, because that was my last night activation of a song for 4 hours. Today, One Direction, last night, much heavier. Fuck yeah. The bigness that we have not seen, the bigness that we have been systemically, generationally trained out of and beaten out of, our worthiness and our desire and our enormity. Ashleen, I love you. I'm sorry this is like so, you did nothing wrong. Like all of us here will just like, snap right the fuck at you. You did nothing. And I'm grateful that it's coming up for healing because.
Yeah, Ashleen, you had to be the mirror for her to look into to see where her stickiness
Wellness.
lies,
Yeah.
and it sucks to be that person for someone else, but she needed you.
That's why even like as I talk myself in circles about being a projector and I shouldn't have, had these conversations, whatever, then I hear this voice in my head that's like, no, these conversations needed to be had. And even though like you couldn't be the perfect projector in the perfect projector way, like it was faster this way. And money moves fast. Money is an energy of quickness. Talking about the whole sovereignty thing, maritime law, there's so many money codes in maritime law, you guys, literally because of the water.
Currency. Like I've been playing with this, and Remington talked about it this week too. It's like a currency and getting into like not a timeline, but like that ideal, pristine currency, the flow state of like your divine true self. I've been feeling that come on too, which is pretty. Hey.
Well, I think where people get tripped up with the money frequency is, I think a lot of people see abundance or having a lot of wealth as you get a lot of money and then you hold on to it. But something we've been learning is that abundance will flow when generosity is at the heart. You know, when you really understand that money is a tool, it's a tool to impact our world and impact the collective, that's when it really flows. And it can be kind of a scary thing when it happens, because it's happening for us. You know, like I created a pretty successful NFT project and it's just going insane right now.
Fuck yeah.
And it's just crazy that that feeling of generosity is just exploding, like within both of us. You know, it's like we don't have a need for all this money, you know, and we don't want all of it. Honestly, we want to live sovereign, we want to live free, just like everybody else. But we understand that the flow of abundance is here, and it's our responsibility to allow that to go to others. You know, like it's not about us, it's not about any of us, it's about all of us, you know. And so that's been a huge lesson for us lately. And
It's us
actually,
as conduit. As I hear you say it, Mike, like we become the conduits for this thing to move through.
Right.
Thanks for being such a good conduit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I think it comes down to self-love too, like that bigness. You really have to love yourself. You really, really have to love who you are and know that you're valued. You know, what you have to offer the world matters, and it needs to matter more to you than you think it does to the world. Because if you don't love it, if you don't love what you're making, whatever you're doing, whatever you're creating, then people are going to start to chip at that, you know. And you have to be really strong, because people will chip at it, you know, because people are jealous, they don't understand, you know, like people are all in different places. So that's been a huge lesson lately for us.
And even when you say that, like I'm earmarking this place so I can listen later. Like when I get into my trauma places, like that's it. Someone is chipping away at my fucking self-love. Someone is using a wound that they have created for fucking 20 years to like eat away at me. And hey, thanks for showing that to me. And we're fucking done, because I know how big I am. I know how fucking big I am, and you should probably be terrified. But then trying to come into love with it, I don't have that piece. Like I'm kind of in like the fucking Sekhmet of it right now. I haven't gotten to the Jesus of it yet, but that's okay.
To
need to feel
expand on
safe.
it a little bit too, where it's shown up for me in my root the past couple weeks, it could be that I've had a really, really rough PMS symptoms these past couple weeks, but my root has been like really flared up as far as unworthiness. And so I appreciate that you brought that up, Andy, because that's where it's really shown up for me, is just not feeling worthy. That self-love for myself has just kind of gone out the window the last couple weeks. And I know that that's a part of this journey to kind of reconnect myself with that. So
the song that I was playing before you guys got on, that I've been listening to all morning, is One Direction, Fireproof. And I'm singing it as a love song to myself. And as I started singing it as a love song to myself, it started to become about Jesus. And then I just started crying about Jesus all morning. And I was like, and what's turning on over here seems to be a Magdalene frequency. So I know that we've got several of us who recognize and resonate with that. So I'm just dropping in. There seems to be like this very fucking big Magdalene. Dina! This is really awake right now. Yeah, I know. I just I'll put on roller skates and do more One Direction later. I think that's the rest of my day, because I feel like I'm on mushrooms and I don't have to be. So let's turn it on. Let's turn it on.
I just have to get on here and say
happy birthday. Is today the actual day, or was it the 14th?
it was the 14th.
God damn it, I missed it. Okay.
No, it's all good because I'm still celebrating. Like with you all. God, my God, y'all. This is, and I'll cry. I'm not a crier, but this Pisces energy has me so cryy. Neptune's transiting my moon in my chart, and I cry every day. And there has been such major stuff going on. I not just had the visual of the torrid field, but it was experiential. And a lot of energy was cleared. I fucking dissolved a timeline. I mean, like, pulled the plug on the timeline. I was in a 6-year relationship, and I don't even have any memory of feeling. There's no memory of feeling in my body of that relationship. It's gone. 6 years. There's nothing in here. And we are, the whole provision thing with the torrid field, we are putting those Shenkas in place so that that can flow through us. This is such preparation, y'all. This is huge. It is so huge. And that torrid field going in, starting in the heart, down through your feet, down into your inner earth temple, because that's where we are planted in this lifetime, right? We're a gift on this earth. And then coming back up to the heart, up through the crown to our galactic purpose, which is more than galactic. And then going out and firing out and about through the earth, but drawing in, moving out, drawing in, bringing in provision, which is not just finance, but that's part of it. It's a big part of it. And I need to be really careful and change my vocabulary, because with what I am being shown, I'm like, I don't know how to get there. That's spirit is apprehending me. You are not dreaming big enough. That is not big enough. It's not big enough. That's still not big enough. And I don't know how to do that, except all I know is I say, yes, God. I surrender. And I just let it flow. And I have a lot of Aries in my chart. I can work some shit. I can fight some shit. I can like knock that darkness out. Fight. Spirit's like, this is surrendering and receiving. Usually guides or deities that come to me are typically masculine. And spirit is like, you are not pursuing. You do not pursue right now. You surrender. And so it's Jesus coming to me. I'm like shaking all over, y'all. Jesus coming to me like in a very interesting, intimate, massive way.
Form. Jesus is activating in form.
Yes.
And like, again, if anybody's got triggers around Jesus, please don't. We're making it much bigger. Christ consciousness, Yeshua energies. These are sacred, beyond Ronald McDonald zombie Christ that fucking is sold and enslaved.
It is your soul family, Jesus and Mary. That's what this is. It's huge. And it's not just Jesus, it's Jesus and Mary. So sacred partnership, sacred contracts. I don't know what a sacred relationship is in this life. I don't know if I ever have. This is a new time. And I say yes. I want to experience that balance. And yes, it's within me. I'm Aries. I can fucking do so much by myself and independent. And I love being by myself. But I want to experience sacred relationship, because it's so powerful, that male female together. I can't comprehend it, but I'm excited to see. Okay, I think that might be all. Love you all. I'm so glad to be a part of this. And oh my God, I love you so much. This connection with all of us is intense, and it's no coincidence. So I'm so grateful that you all are here. Thank you.
Sarah, I need to tap you to come in and talk about that.
The toroidal field lives in your taint. I said it.
Juicy. Robin Wiggs, juicy.
Everybody okay with this? Yeah. So Yeshua is my husband, and we popped some pearls out my pussy this week. I have been in sacred union with myself for the last while. And when I'm in this space and in this community of all of you, beautiful things happen in my life. And it has been a really intense 2 weeks for me. I've had to take steps back from major relationships in my life, including my best friend, who like I literally am like we talk all the time every day, almost to like a codependent enmeshment level. So there's like been an absolute closing off of that over the last 10 days, so I could be really, really quiet. And had an intense period. I'm currently dealing with like impetigo at the corners of my mouth. So like cold sore action. I'm really having to watch my languaging. But I've been working on subtle body things this week. I'm a yoga instructor. And since we came into Root, my root's been on fire. Literally my ass is like hot all day long. And in my yoga practice, I identified with breath work that I was holding my breath. There was a tightness at the bottom of my breath where it originates from, that root basket. So I have been, like Marilyn, untangling all of the little knots held throughout my body, and reopened with Yeshua's patience with me, my toroidal field, and we started sending them through the eye of the ankh, and they came through as pearls. So if you want to have some cosmic sex, do it with Jesus by yourself. Just thought. Thank you for the dance party, Andy. Dina, thank you for taking us to church. Ashleen, you are also a mirror for me, and witnessing you walk this out also reveals to me how that has been me, the one who's been afraid to receive and step into abundance. So thank you for sharing that and letting me sit with that for myself. And Lauren, I love you. Marilyn, I'm so glad to be here with you. Michael, you like astound me. And Jay and Michelle, you're great. And Alyssa, thanks for sharing. And I think, is that everybody so far? I think so. Okay.
Two things. I want to share my toroidal field because listening, or it's turning on different. I've asked Sarah if she would do some body movement for us as these Jed and Shenkas are coming on differently. So we're going to set up a poll. Sarah, I'm going to ask you to take over on that. Set up a poll and see if there's a day where people would get together. We'll do that donation based for Sarah to maybe show us some body work or breath work, to just bring it into a different level for whoever wants it. That's available. If you don't, like, totally fine. But like, we learned so much from each other. And even like in one conversation with Sarah, I was like, holy fuck, my jet. Excuse me. That's my sounds over here. But like, I felt my Jed turn on in a way that it never has. And up and down was electric. In and out was magnetic. And I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. And so even as I say it now, like, I can feel my body, and then the snakes are crossing at each Shenka. We'll be working with that more as we go, because like they're crossing, and each time they cross, it comes to center. Each time they go out. Woof, woof. So if that turns on anything for you, or if you've already doing that, we're just giving a different experience of it, because it was the Taurus as it's like through the center of me now, through the Jed of me, not just in the subtle body, but like it's here first, and then it goes out to other energetic body fields. That's new. That's new.
I have a question. I don't know if this happened for anyone else, but the way, like, I work a lot with the earth and like talk to trees, and just like the way that the Earth's energy has come into my field is very different now. Like it goes into my throne. And I was like, oh, that's different. That's very different than what I'm used to. So different. I was like, that's not where it usually goes.
That's
So,
good.
Hey,
yeah.
Alyssa. I love trees too. And recently, on one of my kind of meditation loops, an enormous tree was uprooted and fell across the path. Enormous. And I just had to stand with it for a minute. Not obviously, just I had to like climb up and over it in order to complete my path. But it was there, and on earth, the earth is soft, things fall, but this was so enormous. I actually walked the length of this 40-50 foot master and got to the top of it and just said, hey, we all have to like fucking go 90 degrees or fall down and become the earth again. And I definitely am on board with just about everything everybody's saying here. This is so in sync, boy band. But love, abundant love, and just witnessing all of this and paying attention to myself is really freaking cozy and juicy right now. Not afraid of exploring cool stuff with my husband, but I also have to mind my manners. I'm on a military installation. I cannot partake in my favorite plant medicine at the moment. I have to, mind the law. So, I've got a cup of Egyptian lotus flower tea, and I'm just trying to find other ways to get out of the earthly body for a second, or find that like magnetic and the up and down. I bought a trampoline. If you have not jumped or done, they call it rebounding, which is funny in a, ironic sense, but get that up and down motion going. I can't sit still. Like the moment I'm awake and I got to do crap all day. So it's like, this dream school permeates every little thing that I do, though, and I bring it with me and I incubate it and love it and pour tea and try to create a beautiful, dreamy scenario. And just about every stupid, all the energy here is just so heavy and hardcore and like lots of crap to do, just always on the move. But we need to rest and be peaceful and find that balance. So I'm just rambling. Thank you for listening, but I love all of you. I just think everything that comes up in the Dream School chat is just ironically relevant to what I'm experiencing, and I'm bringing it all in and loving it all. I'm really, really grateful that I am healthy. My husband has some spine issues right now, and that's where I'm like, my Jed, I'm just creating this thing like, oh man, let's just keep strong and build this beautiful thing that I know I can hold, so that I maybe can help him or help others or just help myself not succumb to bulges or slip discs or tumors or crookedness, that I won't fall 90 degrees like that tree in the woods, that I need to remain upright for now, for that bigger dream. Like I'm not sure what it is either.
Well, and as you say that, I'm almost like, if we can make sure the magnetics are like a true north up and down type of thing too, like recognizing the body as its own compass in that way.
Can I just add something, Erin? As you were speaking, and you were talking about not being able to partake in your plant medicine, when I journey sometimes with poison plants. When I first started working with poison plants, I would just journey with the spirit of the plant. And I think it's just such a beautiful way to have the experience, particularly of your favorite plant medicine, but really in an embodied way. So it's not like you're out of your body, but you're still in your body and having this like really beautiful experience. Just a thought. And Alyssa, something that you said, it's so interesting because while I've played with the spirits of the land, I'll call them, like the fae, the elves, they are really coming through in such a strong way right now, in support of the work that we're really doing. And they are like really available. And it's beautiful. Like even yesterday, I walked through Central Park and it's almost as if I was just hearing twinkling everywhere. I mean, it was just, the park was like seriously happy. And this is in the center. I mean, I do a lot of work in the park, but this is in the center of Manhattan, where it has been, you know, somewhat of a traumatic place over the past couple of years. And they are just bringing such a sense of fun and joy, which was beautiful to experience.
I'm going to add to that, and sorry, Alyssa, give me 1 second. The Fae. I did an activation last week. I work with a shaman who, Turkish man who's in London, and he's very connected to the Fae, like old shit. And we were doing an activation, and the Fae were coming on and saying, they've always been the ones who are here to create Gaia, but they'll actually work with us now because they'll be the ones who can create in a different way. And as I'm like saying that, I'm also recognizing like Loren over here who's weaving and keeps weaving in and out. Hello, honey bunny.
Spinning. I'm not weaving yet. I'm just spinning the threads.
Probably a good qualifier that I don't know the fucking difference of, but it would be what we are doing is truly spinning and weaving a new reality into being. So connecting with the Fae, doing this through our earth as we learn how to turn each of these into the wheels that spin reality into being. Thank you, Loren, for doing it so legitimately for us. Like, come the fuck on. I'll just paint and draw things.
Just so everybody knows, I'm like my I don't have headphones on. The sound of everybody's voices, I'm putting it into the thread and I'm going to make an offering of it. So yeah, I'm going to put it in the earth. I'm going to give it to
How are we so fucking cool, you guys? As I look around, I'm like, fuck me. I feel so lucky to be here with you. Thank you. As I hear each one of you talk and see your faces, like...
So if you want anything into this, you guys, speak it out. Speak what you want into the world, and we'll put it into the earth.
Well, with that being said, I would like to echo the threads. In my root Shenka, I experienced it as like a massive golden thread. And it just reminded me that in energy, we quite literally create into the physical plane through our root Shenka. And we are, as we weave a golden reality for ourselves, it's, you know, it's there. It's ready to be put into form.
Can I add that if you don't, that like I listen to the trees and the earth and they will feed you what they want the dreams to look like so they can expand what you might even envision it being like. If you can be quiet and listen, there's so much wisdom and knowledge like in the way that your body might feel or the words or the visions. Like I have learned more from like a couple of my favorite trees that are my homies than I have from like most things in life.
If anybody wants to put up tree pictures, I have favorite trees that I do lots of prayers and lots of work with. I have one set of 4 trees. They've all taken on different planets to like support me through a little bit of time. But like I'll go there and massage myself every day too. And like I'm so over like being the fucking weirdo who's like rubbing my body against a tree. Like, fuck yeah, I'm the weirdo who's rubbing my body against a tree. Yeah, weird things happen as you get older and care less.
I'm doing that too.
Thank God you guys are saying so, because I have felt very just like lonely in doing what I do, just being me.
We do us good, and by us doing us, it gives the other people who are still in fear permission to like kind of step outside of it, y'all. It's fine. Nobody's really paying attention to you anyway. Like I think I've had to learn that as a very insecure kid. Nobody's fucking paying attention to me. Other insecurity on the other side of that, right? Nobody's paying attention to me. Fuck.
Leave me alone every single day until the day I don't want to be left alone. Then give me attention and then go away.
I had breakfast with Robin the other day, and she sent me a message the next day. She's like, "You look so beautiful," and I was like, "Yeah, like I'm really lacking compliments, and not that I need that, but at the same time, like not being in partnership, like the self love is good." So, Robin, that was thanks, thanks. Robin and I have been besties and shared office space for 10 years, y'all. So we were just recognizing that the other day, like 10 years. On that Jupiter Neptune day, I was working with a client, and Robin was in the office that day. And it was the first time in 2 years that we had been in the office together. And like the work that I was doing with a client, the work that Robin was doing with a client, like even the weaving of like Robin doing singing bowls, me do like my heart. My heart. So I'm going to put into all of those threads up there, Loren, prosperity for Robin and I to have the perfect space to be able to heal and share and hold temple in all of the ways that the gods ask of us and that we choose to joyously participate. Sa. Thank you.
I can share. Sorry. Like you was about to go into a space. Oh, so much shit was happening. I was too on my period. So I had like, we had just gotten back from Austin on like a business trip. So like talk about root. We had just gotten back from Austin and we actually really loved it there. And I'm in Colorado too. And we have been wanting to move for a while. So we went and we actually like, we all kind of, both my daughter, like all kind of like fell in love with just the energy of it. And so when we got back, it like threw me back into this like, I don't want to fucking be here. I need the community. I need the greenery. I need like all of these things. And then like it went into my PMS week. So of course it like drops me into all of the emotions of it. And during that week, like driving around town, like people just doing stupid shit on the roads. Cause if you've ever been to Colorado, people drive fucking insane here. But doing crazy things. And then like we figured out that when we went on vacation, somebody stole his credit card information and charged like thousands of dollars to his credit card and like signed them up on their auto insurance, like some wild shit. So like I got thrown into this space of like, oh my fucking God, I physically don't want to be in this state anymore. I am so tired of humanity. I'm so tired of like the lack of love that is not really, you know, infused into our reality. And so like that really did trigger like it, like I forget what her name was, but when she was saying like it was going all over, like I had a lot going into the heart chakra too, because like just understanding that what we create like through businesses and how we interact in like the physical 3D world should have, or at least I feel like in my body should have that heart infusion in it, that spirit infusion in it. And like experiencing the lack of that, especially over the last few years, has been so traumatic to my heart and to my root. And so I had stuff coming up around like money too and receiving, and like I do human design and gene keys, and it's literally my life's work is in the gate of receiving. So it was just like all of this stuff around like, you know, I've got money in the bank right now, but it's not coming in a way that is expected. Like it's very like sporadic. And so there's this huge like trust mechanism for me to be able to spend the money that I receive. Like again, I haven't know anybody's names here, but what the guy was talking about, like we have that responsibility, like getting money in, we also have the responsibility to then like funnel it back out, you know, in a either high vibrational way, or we see like many low vibrational ways. And so there was a lot around like worthiness and stuff like that. And like what somebody else was saying too about like you're not dreaming big enough, like it took all of this took me by surprise, because before this, like the last 2 weeks happened, like I had been feeling so great. I had been feeling like, oh my God, like life is about to get really good. Like it's going to get so amazing. Like we're about to receive like the dream that we've always wanted. And so to like go from like having that and feeling that like spirit, God, whoever was saying like, hey, I've got your back. Like I was seeing all these signs that like, it's okay. Like you can trust. But then I come back here and get thrown into all the thick of it and just like have so much stuff come up around survival
and like traumas, you know, as a child, like feeling like I have to make these extreme decisions to keep myself safe, not realizing that like I actually have everything in my life that I've needed. But again, like the work around receiving has felt so heavy. Like there's been so much guilt in my life around receiving. And it's been really wild because a lot of this, like I've never been religious. When I walked into a church for the first time at 4 years old, I like saw this play going on, and I have this very vivid memory of this moment of me like being at the back of the church watching this play. It is like for children, but like watching this play and then just being like, no, that's not right. Like what you're talking about with like the fucked version of like, you know, Jesus and God, like I saw that, and my whole entire being at 4 years old without knowing anything about it was like, no. And ever since I had my first Kundalini activation awakening last year, I had started channeling in stuff about like Jesus and stuff like that. And it really kind of like threw me off because I've never been religious. Like you're talking about like the trigger word of God, like Jesus and God, like that word triggered me for so long because of, you know, just the stigma that's out there around traditional religion. But ever since then, I've been like feeling this energy of like God and Jesus, and it's been getting stronger and stronger of like feeling like I'm actually like communing with that, like communing with God and seeing God through my reality. But like we were talking about the Mary Magdalene stuff, like a lot of what has come up for me is like, and seeing in the world right now is like, if we think about like the fall from heaven, like the fall from Eden, like us falling from that state and like us being like sequestered to this really dense, heavy planet, I feel like has brought this sense of unlovable, like we're unworthy, we're unlovable, right? Because we've been disconnected from that energy. And so I've had these moments of like feeling like the rush of like universal love to the point where I'm like, wow, like what the fuck, like this is so powerful. And like you feel love and the sadness and fear all at the same time, and it does like end that sense of duality. And like that's why I feel like that's what I've been like integrating over the last 6 months, is like being able to hold that vibration in my body, and it's brought up all of those unworthiness aspects. And so yeah, it's just the whole not dreaming big enough, the whole like wanting community and just like wanting to be around people who can emanate that level of like love and acceptance, and people who are like, no, like you do need to dream bigger, like fuck your tiny ass little dreams, like you're worth so much more. Like that, like me realizing that like that level of love is actually something that like I think probably the vast majority of humans have never even touched or can even fathom. So the moment we're like infused, even with just like a drop of it, we're like, wait, what? Like you're telling
And this is part of what's going on for us in Dream School.
Yeah.
We are creating containers that can hold higher vibrations of these things. So the trauma as it shows up for me is I know spirit can do this. I don't necessarily have people in the physical who would like that can protect and feel safe. So like that's my story over here. Okay, well I've got a kitty who obviously will fucking take a bitch down. But we're building ourselves through this process to be able to hold these higher frequencies. So whenever we have an experience of love like that, it's not just conceptual. It isn't burning us up, but we can actually become a fucking container of it so that it activates others through us over and over, right? And with this, I want us to do one activation today. We will do this every time we come together in Integration Nation. Not a biggie, but we just need to know the subtleties of things too, right? Let me see if I can get a kitty situated, because this is new reality over here. My cat used to never do it, but now she only wants to sit here and be with us. Hey. We chill? Thanks. She likes some sacred work. We'll see how it goes. Because, yeah, and this, again, I know, we're dropping it in. I'm learning it as you're learning it. But the words, say where we want to go. I'll shush. Okay, great. I need you to drop down into your inner earth temple. And not currently in your throne, please, just in the temple. I want you to drop underneath your temple into the Oosh and begin to chant Oosh, 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 Oosh. Oosh is the void. The Oosh is before form. And we're going to move today up into Ta. We're going to move into earth. We're going to move into your root, consciously choosing to come from the void and into form. And you can practice versions of Oosh, Da, Oosh, Da, Oosh, Da. And as you get yourself into that Da, then just begin chanting Da, Da, Da. Do this at your own pace. I'll rattle. And they will qualify here, going from inner earth temple of that Oosh up into the Da of your physical form, please. Da, 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 da. Coming into stillness. There in your oust, in your root, Shenka. And they say from this moment until we open up the second Shenka, they want you to rest. You've gone through the initiation of root. There may still be reverberations, but from now until Wednesday, you rest, or whatever your timing is between, you rest. What they're offering, and this is also new and kind of sexy to me, is that we're going to be learning how to go between the elements each time as well, with a different level of subtlety that we haven't done in the past. So how does one move from the void into form? Why do you choose to take form? Because we know. I'm also going to thank Camille here today, because as my goddaughter was being born and spent a significant amount of time in NICU, and as my bestie and soul sister and Magdalene soulmate almost lost her life, all I could feel was this little being who I've tried to get here for 6 years, struggling to come into form. as such a fucking high dimensional being to come into this body was so traumatic for her. She spent 3 days in the NICU. That's no joke. Like, that is not metaphorical. That is not esoteric. That is fucking there. I can say happily everybody is happy and at home now and doing great. But coming into form is no fucking joke. And each day we get to choose to be in this form or not. And it can be harrowing because we know we're coming in with trauma. We know we're coming in to face the fucking suffering. We know we're coming into like all of the shit storm. And this grants us the bliss of getting a body. So practice, oosh will be the void. Oosh also means the dream. So when we get to nuke oops oops, which is one of my favorites, like, this is just the simulation. This is just the fucking video game. None of this is real. Don't think it's real. Nuke oops oops. This is just the game. And real easy to like to be dismissive of those things when things are going good, but whenever it all feels very real in our faces. Nuke oops oops. So that oosh da, I would like you just maybe to practice with in the mornings if it's right. Of like consciously choosing to leave the void, leave the fucking perfection of no thingness, and choose to fucking be here. Second Shenka will have its own, all of them will have the wound and the wisdom in it. And this is where Nadia will call like, what you call it, the crossing of opposites. So for me, I'm watching those snakes and I'm like, there's where we come to total peace with it. The crossing of opposites. So here we were in survival, and the second Shenka will have its own juicy, beautiful fucking lessons of coming out of that cosmic womb of everything and choosing to be here. Fuck me. And then really after that, like once we get into third and fourth, like, oh y'all, oh goodness, look out world, look out world. So I celebrate you for, I don't want to say hanging in there, but for choosing, for consciously choosing, as we do with every breath and with every heartbeat and with every day and with every menstrual cycle. I find it fascinating how many of us were menstruating at the same time. Maybe we can have a little sidebar of that where we're supporting each other. For me, menstruation, conscious death. What am I releasing? What am I shedding? I want to be very intentional with it. And especially if a lot of us are doing it once, I think we can use that pretty effectively. And for those of us who don't have wombs, we have cosmic wombs that you guys are still shedding some big shit too. Thank you for however those death releases want to move through you at a physical level. Last piece, and then we can keep chatting. They want to make sure that we recognize the moon tomorrow, is what Remington Donovan is who I refer to a lot, because Remington tonight, sorry, thank you, Michael, tonight is that luscious.
It's actually in about half an hour is the peak.
Oh, hey. And I like looking at Dina and Camille, who both are like in pink right there too. Marilyn's got some pink rocking. Mike, will call your glasses kind of pink. Pink, pink, pink. Remington was calling this the moon of Ma'at. Oh, fuck. And there are a few of us who have got a pretty decent relationship with Ma'at going on. Ma'at is like, she's not the scales, she's the thing holding the scales. Sarah, could you share that? Hold on, let me see if I can pin you up there. Is that how that goes? Go ahead.
Yeah, I pulled cards this morning and I got Tahuti and Mahat together. And then I got Circuit, which made me think of circuit, like being a conduit, like running that energy, right? But yeah, Moon and Ma'at, and of course we got Thoth stepping in with her, but he also has that Caduceus, which those points that you were talking about are where the snakes come together on the Caduceus on his staff. But yeah, we're very well held right now.
We are so well held. The Sorket energy, I will also say, like, she'll be all second Shenka. Sorket is the scorpions in the water. Fuck yeah. But I don't want you guys getting ahead of yourselves. Like, stay right here with us because we get to rest now. We've done great. We don't need to keep. The energies will keep working you. You don't need to keep working with the energies except as you choose and as they support you. And that this is new too. I'm like, we get a break? And they're, yeah, like from now to Wednesday, get a break. The energies are so supportive. Thank you for saying that, Sarah, because as we look at like these April energies, and again, I don't know enough about what's really going on there galactically, but I can feel it in my body in this like, whoa, I feel like I'm on mushrooms today. What do I get to do with it? I'll start with roller skates and go from there, which is the polar opposite of what I was yesterday. So all of it is blissful. And this is where we're going to come together in that Jed, which is like my grief or my joy. All of it is blissful. We can take the duality off of it. Michael, Michael Maddie, would you talk to us about that duality polarity thing? Because it's been a very, very distinct teaching for me that I'm trying to like realign to duality and polarity and say that.
Sure. This is coming through Mateus to Stephanos, from an Aubrey Marcus episode from last week, I think. He was just saying like polarity, the word polarity came first, and polarity is based around a pole, and a pole is one thing. So when we talk about polarity, we talk about opposite ends of the same thing. So north, south, things like that. Duality is a word that came as a description of polarity. And so duality is not real. And duality is you just get rid of the stick and then you think there's two things. So it's just like playing with that concept of like, even in duality, the root, we're still one thing. So even though it feels when we're on the wave, even though when we're really high, we could maybe want to hang on to that, or you know how it works, but it's all it's all the same wave. So just playing with those words.
Duality is what's dissolving, not polarity, I think is how I've tried to make that understanding.
Aha.
Right? Duality is what's dissolving. Polarity is not. Polarity is natural. And polarity is like that. To me, it's the electric energy is polarity. The magnetic, I don't know. I'll keep learning. And as I say, like learning, like I hope you're just learning the energies because they're teaching you and you're like, oh, well,
Well, and then think of the word police, right? You break that word down, pole ice. The job of the police is to keep you stagnant, right? They don't want you moving up and down and growing and learning, right? So another synchronicity.
Woo.
Yeah, and even what I was saying about like the whole like love aspect, like truly feeling like universal, like level love, you actually have to be able to, you have to like bridge, it has to be the polarity as opposed to the duality. And like when you were saying like what I imagine duality is like where you're only experiencing one end of the pole at a time. And then polarity truly comes when you experience both simultaneously and there is no distinction between the two. And like that's what I've been feeling. And like that's like it's a whole other fucking level to feel both fear and love at the exact same time.
Welcome to childbirth. Like
yeah, exactly.
This is Ma'at too. This is the tech. This is being the center of the scale.
Not the scales, but the thing holding the scales. That's part of where we were going with the Ma'at energy. The Egyptian is called tech. Thank you, Michael. Other Mike was talking. We didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Like, I guess for me, that balance is, it's not necessarily staying in the middle, but it's being able to move quickly between both polarities because we need to be moving, right? And I experience that all the time with our child, you know, there's moments where you're super joyous and then it can just plummet at any time. So
very quickly also.
Yeah. So being able to move very quickly between them, I think has the same feel as just being in the middle.
Mhm.
But being stuck in the middle and being stagnant to me has not felt good, given that everything is flowing and, we live in maritime law, like law of the oceans and water. So
Mike, that I hadn't gotten there yet. We live in the law of the oceans. I mean, yeah, like I know, I see you shaking your head up there, Lauren, like, yeah, duh. But like, and this is the beauty of like when we come together that like we'll hear things, we're like, oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, like we are living in this like very currency and the
Yeah.
currents and like who's, yeah, okay. Who's
But it's
directing?
our job to be the friendly rebels, right? We need to challenge those laws or see the other polarity of those things that are put in front of us so that we can understand it or shoot back and forth and like come back to this like awesome upward, instead of left or right. It's like we do up, down, and we do in, out, and we do all around you, crazy world. Let's just encapsulate it all and love it to death.
Tell me that word that you just used, Aaron.
I don't know what I just said.
Something warriors. The what warriors?
Oh, friendly rebel.
Friendly rebel.
Yeah,
Okay.
just being, like politely. I politely object.
Yeah, thank you.
Or I'm seeing this, but I have to question the other side, or at least look at the other side.
My daughter was home this week because they were doing standardized tests at her school. And I was like, ooh, yeah, I know I don't want her to do that. I know I don't like that system. And at the same time, like, what do I need to say? And so like my female brain trying to justify this letter that I was sending to the counselor. And then I finally just sent it and I'm like, we opt out of this and all standardized tests. Thank you. Like, I don't need to fucking explain. I don't need to get into it. Like, I just like really got into that place of like, no.
No is a full sentence.
Thank you, Ashley. Camille, Jordan, and Wendy, I want to make sure that we're hearing from everybody today. So if there's anything that you would like to share, bear witness to, not hold on to by yourself, we're here.
Okay. I mean, for me, I almost feel guilty because I feel like these last couple of weeks have just been filled with total joy. Like it's not been hard. Yes, there have been the moments. Yes, I had the menstrual cramps, like to the point where I was on the floor thinking I was going to throw up, and I had the bad tummy. But for me, I'm one of those people, once it's done. Like it happens, it's over. I don't think about it again. It's done. And it's always been like that. It's been like that with shadow work as well. As soon as I recognize something, it's done. But I don't know, that could be me being ignorant and they're like, oh no, you've not actually really got into it, but I don't know, it's just done. But I've been very much connecting with plants, for people talking about trees and things. A couple of years ago when I did the Akashic, one of the things I learned was in Atlantis that I was a gardener. I mean, I don't know what that means, whether it was, whether the reality of that was with plants or if it had a different meaning. But I've been connecting with that idea of being gardener. So we made a little herb garden, or vertical herb garden. I thinking about money. So funny, so many things that you guys have said has highlighted things to me over the last couple of weeks. Like, oh yeah, that was that. Oh yeah. But money these last couple of weeks, I've just gone, like, fuck it, I'm just going to spend the money, because money comes and goes, and I've spent so much flipping money on plants over the last couple of weeks. And I just don't feel guilty about it. And like my other half, he's like, oh, I really need some new trainers. I'm like, cool, I'll buy you some new trainers. Like I bought him a tool that he really wanted. I was just like, yeah, like just spend all the money. What, like, it's not even fucking real anyway. So yeah, I've just had the most joyous couple of weeks planting, getting herbs. One of them is like chocolate mint. I found one today that was like a cola plant. I had to buy that. It literally smells like Coca-Cola. I was like, what is this? Got one that smells like curry. I've just been having all the fun with all the plants. It's been fucking great. And then as you guys were talking a minute ago, my plant behind me, Jack, just suddenly said to me, hey Wendy, can I have some water please? And of course very polite, has to say please because it's been raised in England. So, there's manners in there. And so I had to get up, and I kind of ignored it for a while because I was really trying to be present and really listening. But it's like, Wendy, please, water, please. Can I have some water? So I was like, fine, fucking hell, Jack, I'll get up and I'll give you some water. And then it was just sort of like, thank you. And I was like, oh, you're really welcome. But I'm sorry, I was, I'm trying to listen. And that's been great. I've just had the most joyous time. I went and so I'm gonna like waffle now. I said I'm a good waffler. Once I start, I went and connected with family, and it was so weird. And these are all things that have been prearranged. And now the timing, I'm like, well, that's interesting that this has all been timed with this and family security. My whole sort of dad's side of my family, I'm not close with. I've not had that connection ever. We were, separated young, and that whole side of my family has just never really been a part of my life, and it's been a void, it's been a longing that I've had for the longest time. And I was going to meet some friends, people who I did my yoga training with and had never actually met in person before because it's all online, it was all COVID. And so I reached out to my uncle because he lived nearby and was like, hey, can I come and stay with you for a couple of days? I'm meeting some friends. He was like, absolutely, yes. And I just had the most beautiful healing couple of days with family. I saw some of my cousins, my auntie just completely filled me with so much love that I didn't even know was out there for me, with this part of my family that I just had no connection with. And it was just the most beautiful healing experience. And I was able to put to bed this longing and this feeling of, needing that part of my family, because I realized that they're always there. And, even though it took me reaching out to get that connection back, I literally can't even explain. The last couple of weeks have just been so healing on so many different things, with family and just money, just like, fuck it. But
can we make an agreement here and now that none of us need to feel guilty if we are feeling good? Okay. Fuck all that.
And isn't it the polarity of this experience? Right? Like all ends.
All of it.
All the spectrum of everything. Mm-hmm. It's all part of it.
Yeah. Even sorry. But last thing, with the toroidal field today, as I was playing with that today, because the last couple of weeks has been busy as well because it's my half term. I'm a teacher, and also fuck that whole system as well. I hate it. And so many ways I try and slip in little subtle things to the kids to break down these systems, and actually, you don't need to give a fuck. But the way I can do it without losing my job, because we need money as well. Until I find the next thing. But sorry, off topic, toroidal field, that's what we were talking about. I was sitting with that today, and I just had, oh God, it was so much fun. Like getting the sparkles coming back into my body. I literally sat here and I was laughing my head off. I was laughing and crying because I just felt so much joy. I couldn't even contain it in myself. I was just giggling my head off. And it was just the best experience. So yeah, full of joy over here. If anyone needs some joy.
Oh, the joy. And remembering joy and power is the same here. Our joy is our power. When we are in joy, nobody can touch us. And then a lot of people are confused that we're in joy, which is why that programming on the outside of like feeling guilty when Shanghai is happening. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I will be putting out the Akashic update this month. They dropped in a cacao I've never worked with before. I will have that for you guys if you're not on Patreon. It reverses the flow of cruelty. And then they had us do it 49 times where like I was in such an altered state. So I'll be curious as you guys get it and we... Because what do we do when the world is suffering? I can't do anything. I don't need to apologize for my joy. My joy is a great fucking gift to a world who is suffering. It's an antidote. It's a blessing. So this cacao that came in, I'll have it for you guys with a cacao card so that we can continue here in our schooling in that way.
Yeah, we're holding the other end of that polarity.
Ping, 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 ping. Fuck me. Thank you. This is why we get together, because Thank you, Marilyn.
I'll just say as a projector, thank you for that invitation to speak. Talking about root, I think of obviously roots, but capillaries, tributaries, and you think about a mighty river, everything, and it splinters off thousands of ways, but those were flowing into the trunk. And talking about a tree falling over, I went out into the world this past week. I was in business in Dallas, and I'll just say that one of my customers is one of the largest corporations in the world, and that tree has fallen over and the roots are beginning to grow again new. I was in their building, just meeting a bunch of people, and the roots, the tree has fallen over and the roots are starting to grow back to rebuild that tree in a lot of ways. They're inviting people back into the office, but it's very few people. But I can tell that those people are there energetically to try to boost that back up. And in the building for the past 2 years, no one has been there. And now as people are going in, the roof is starting leaking, and now scaffolding is all over this beautiful brand new building. And everyone was saying, the last 2 years you could have been, why hasn't this been fixed when no one's here? But people are coming back, and now the whole building is being renovated. Yeah, it's from somebody who just went out into the world during this root time. It's showing up in the world amongst all these lower densities. Yeah, the roots are need to be healthy again. And it seems to be happening.
Jordan, thank you so much for that too, because I don't know how many of us are in corporate America in the way that you are right now. So to have just like the lens on that a little bit of, oh, is that they'll have to be restructured, they'll have to be rebirthed, they'll have to be grown in a way that is sustainable and healthy for human beings, and not maritime and not corporate. Fucking wild.
Yeah, and
You're moving to Texas then? Is that what's happening over there?
we don't know yet. We're about to go to North Carolina for a month still, because that's where we originally
yeah.
were going. So we're gonna still be going there for a month and like feel it out, and then like make the decision on where we felt the most home. But I was just gonna say, like on the corporate level, I had an experience this last week with 2 different companies, and I got like, this was kind of a part of like the frustration with the external world, but I had this one experience with this company where I was going to return this product. And one company, I was going to return this product, and they wanted me to send it back to Canada, even though they sent it to me from New York, and it was going to cost like $50 to return this like $100 order. And so I emailed them and I was like, no, like this is not happening. Like, can I send it back to your New York office? And they ended up emailing me back and saying like, sure. But this other company, I was going to return this product, and they sent me this email back, and like, oh my God, it gave me so much joy and like hope for the modern corporate world and what like the new roots being built, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to return this product. And they were like, okay, beautiful. Like, here's 3 different options. You can either keep the product and we'll essentially give you a third off of it. Like, we'll refund you a third of your money back, and you can keep it, gift it to family, like do whatever, or you can donate it to a local charity for a full refund, or you can send it back to us for a full refund. And I sent them back a message, and I was like, you know what? Because I've had some shitty experiences with other companies this week, and because you guys are so fucking amazing, I would love to support your company. I will gladly take the third of the money back. I will keep the product. Like, I'm not going to return it. Like, thank you so much. Like, I wanted to support that company because I was like, yes, this is why I was getting so frustrated with the world, because like that is what should be infused into all of our like the 3D, the dense physical shit. Like, that's what my soul has been yearning for. And to see a company that was doing that was just like, oh my God, fuck yes. Like, it was so amazing. Like, you can donate it and we'll still give you all your money back. Like,
beautiful.
Wild.
Jordan, if I ever don't remember that our projectors need invitations, somebody else just ping me in here, please. Thanks so much. Because I would never think of that for you. So I'm glad you spoke it. Thank you. Camille, you're not a fucking projector. And if there's anything you want to drop in here, hi. And I love you.
I don't really even know what you guys mean when you say you're projectors, so forgive me for that.
It's a human design term. So
I figured that, but I don't have any working knowledge of human design. So my my weeks have had a good bit of death or dying, even though I work in birth portal and wombs in every realm. And so I think looking back over the last couple of weeks, I think Ubin M. Nubit is the main thing that I need right now. Just to ask more for it more.
Well, and you're even asking us for it. So can we all chant together a little bit? Not only for Camille, but for anybody else who might need it. Some Ubinim Nubit. Ubinim Nubit. We would try to unmute it all and do it together. It sounds fucking awful. We've tried. You just do it from where you are. I'll do it from where I am. Ubinim Nubit. Ubinim Nubit. Ubinim Nubit. Taking from it what you need, receiving from it what you want. Ubinim Nubit. Ubinim Nubit. Ooh, Ubinim Nubit. 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 Ubinim Nubit.
I have one last thing that I wanted to drop in.
Okay, give me just 1 second. What I want to say is when we link our energies together, it is stronger than I have ever felt it. And that's with you guys, that's with clients, that's in general. There seems to be a amplification of our Akashic overlapping fields that the universe is paying attention to very differently. So I ask that whenever you're watching this, even if you need to go back in to receive or to chant with, the power of that is intense is the word that I want to use, but that's not fair. Like, it's amplified. It's fucking massive right now when we consciously come together outside of time and space, because we are in this luminous Akashic now. So thank you. And Camille, thanks for fucking asking for what you needed and wanted. When was Camille's birthday?
It's Tuesday.
Okay. Yay, happy birthday.
Coming up. Oh yeah, and I got my period a week early too, so
just wanted to sync up with us and
just wanted to sync up with everybody else. And did a ton of body work on my feet and my butt and my hips. Cool. And that explains a lot. And thanks for the Ubin and Nubit, everybody.
Oh, honey. And yeah, if anything is a lot in there, you know that you can reach out to any of us individually. And I'm like, I'll put myself at like, hey, all of that death that you're processing, you don't need to do it alone. And I know you're not actually processing, but you're bearing witness to a fuck ton right now, it feels like. So thanks for doing it the way you do. We should probably have a private conversation because, yeah, it seems like there's some shit coming up, huh? Sarah Sears, would you, rainbow body coming in with the resurrection? Oh, that is kind of what tomorrow's portal is set up as, isn't it? I forgot that word. We've already been in our resurrection. Ushta. Ushta.
We died.
Ushta.
Yeah. What did you need from me, darling?
No. I wanted you to speak to whatever you were saying, but then I read it and it pinged. If there's anything more you would like to say, I would love to hear. And remember, when we're getting these peaks of joy, ong sa, ong sa, ong sa, like we feed that joy. I heard you. We're going to do a little teaching right now. The onk is actually the correct pronunciation is ong. The onk and the ong are the same thing. The top round part of that is the sa, the onk sa, ong sa. And the round part of it, they'll say, like in Christianity, it's open and it's out because it's a sword. The true way is that it is whole and complete and recycles, because we come back and we recycle through. We don't fucking leave. So the lie has been like that it looks like this with the cross and it's open. The truth is we cycle back through. Ong sa. Michael, Maddie, what were you saying about the hook, the flail, and the what?
The hook and the flail. That's what you use, and the rod. The rod, the hook, and the flail. That's what the Egyptians used too.
Would you send me a private text on that? Because I think we might close with one of those deeper teachings on that, please. Thank you.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Heard. Excuse me. Just give me 1 second to write this down. And I know, Destiny, you've got something. Hold on. Fucking human, hold up. Excuse me. Okay, thank you. I heard. That's beautiful. Thank you. Okay, got it. Thanks. Michael, still a text would be helpful. I'll pull this out later. Thank you. Boy, they don't understand limitations of human at times, do they? Maybe we don't. Maybe we believe too much in the limitations of human. Let me say that different. Cute. Miss Swinney?
Oh, hi, and thanks for saying my last name appropriately. Yeah, so the only thing I just wanted to drop in was another kind of like test that had come up for me in the last week. I was out one day shopping and I was just kind of browsing around and actually having like a really beautiful time. I was down in Loveland and went to this really pretty coffee shop and it was just so elegant and all that stuff. Well, I had gone into this store and I bought this bag that, like, I'm normally not a materialistic person in any way. Like, I typically don't spend my money on like material things. Like, it's typically like the money that I've ever had has been spent out of like survival and need. And then even when I get something that I want, it's typically like a lower end thing, right? Because I didn't have the resources to be able to get like what I was truly worth. So I walked into this store one day, saw this amazing bag that I was just like, oh my God, this thing is beautiful. But I looked at the price tag and it was like, whoa, okay, no. But I took a picture of it because it was so gorgeous. And for days, I was thinking about this bag. And we ended up going back to the store on the weekend. And I walked in and it was still there. And I can't even tell you the fight that was going on inside of me because I wanted this bag so much, but it was like a $355 bag. And I was like, realistically, there's no reason I need to spend money on this thing. And so I was really fighting myself. And I like even like made this really like terrible comment to Jordan when he saw the price of like, I know I'm not worth it. And like, he like looked at me like, excuse me. And so I ended up getting this bag, but I walked to the counter with almost like a walk of shame type thing. I was like a little girl with my head down and I was like, she's like, are you going to get it? And I was like, yeah. And my daughter is right there. She's like, she never treats herself, so she deserves it. So I just wanted to show you guys this. And the lesson that for me that came from this is like, especially like we're talking about root and money and survival, like getting to this place where we're moving into, like, instead of spending our root energy on survival, spending it on things that create a beautiful reality around us and that reflect the beauty that we see inside. And this is just the beautiful bag.
On.
So like nature and all these beautiful like patterns on it. And of course, like it's a bag, right? It's a container. So hello, root chakra. And I was just like, oh,
It's
I've
gorgeous.
never seen anything so beautiful. And it's like a designer bag. It's not
Well,
like,
and the weaving of it too, right? Like it's hand woven. It's got, yeah.
yeah. And so like that was just like an initiation for me into like, because I have like money in my account and I've been wanting to like take myself on a trip or do things that I've never been able to do, but like I earned this fucking money. But like this was like, I was blown away at how much of like an initiation, like buying a medicine bag. Yeah. Cause I was like, this isn't just going to benefit me. Like I'm going to carry this bag around and people are going to be like, oh my God, like they're going to stop. They're going to look like we're going to come together in joy over beauty. And I was like, oh, this is such an amazing thing. And it's hilarious because like I have to be honest, after the first call, I was like, I'm so confused. I don't know what's happening. Like, is anything gonna happen from this? And then over
A
the last,
message at one point and you're like, I'm just bored. And I was like, you fucking be bored. Like, wow. I'm glad the boredom shifted into some crazy activations.
yeah, I mean, it even like took me back down into like, I know we've talked about this in sessions, but I've never been in a place where I've actually ever attempted suicide, but through my life, I've had those moments of like contemplating like my death. And earlier this year, like I was like, if should I ever decide to do this, I know exactly how I'm going to do it. I know where I'm going to do it. And like this last week, like I was in the shower yelling at my guides, why the fuck am I here? Because like I got thrown back into the thick of that. And then afterwards, like I did some DMT. I felt better a little bit, but like it was like, you're here to like enjoy the riches of this world. And like I forgot I was divine. Yeah, like like I've had, when I was talking earlier about the whole Jesus thing, like one of the things that I've had that like it's been really strange for me to actually like share with people because I've never been religious. And like it also to a part of me seems so egotistical, but I'm really like, the more I talk about it, the more I'm accepting this of like, I am actually a child of God. Like I like of Mother Earth and like Father Spirit, like really realizing that like I am this divine child and this earth was built for me.
Song.
Me, not against me, but for me. And that's been a fucking reality shattering realization that I've made over the last few months. And like, that's what I've been working to integrate into that root chakra of like, you get to enjoy the riches, you get to buy that beautiful bag, you get to have whatever it is you want.
The joy expands.
Yeah.
And we live in a world of beauty. So when we feel beautiful, the beauty is reflected outside. There's one other piece that I want to drop in here today. And I would love to keep these at like 2 hours because I know it's a big commitment. Rob and I haven't heard, say that again, Lauren.
Can I pop in? I just want to say something before I lose it, which I'm like,
Yep.
feel like
Oh,
I'm
good.
already losing the threads. I really do think that the suffering that sometimes that we can experience in this 3D reality is part of the gifts. It's part of the gifts because without that suffering, the joy is not as potent. And in that suffering is where we learn the compassion. And holding that compassion in our heart and moving through this world in a compassionate manner and in that open heart space and getting that like that vibration in your heart like true and pure. It's about the compassion, and we don't find it until we've been through those moments of suffering. So
Well, and as you were saying it, I was saying it like the roots of the tree and then the leaves of the tree, right? Like the root is the suffering sometimes of like the without of it and the dryness that then comes up into
the fruit and the flower is the joy, and you can't have one without the other.
It's so good. This piece that I wanted to share also came in with the client this week, and there was this idea that he needed to be a king, or this reclamation that he was a king, and they're like, you don't want to be the king. The king is assigned. An emperor is what you want to be because an emperor is self-created. And I was like, oh, that's a fucking distinction right there. So if that makes sense for you guys, the king is just assigned. The king is also the regent of the goddess, and it's kind of like, it's not a self-created position. And it also has a lot of, to me, like whenever I think about being king, I'm like, oh no, everybody wants it and everybody wants to take it from an emperor. You don't fucking take down an emperor. So I'd love to hear any thoughts on that, if it makes sense, or pings, because it was new. Yes, yes.
I'm gonna hop off, but yesterday, because I was at the Met, I will drop in image of, I think it was Constantinople, I'm not sure, or Constantine, sorry. And it was, his eyes look upward. It's a huge, massive head, and his eyes look upward because these emperors were connected to the divine, or at least they were projecting that to show that they were not just these earthly beings, but that they were sourcing from the divine. So I will drop that into Mighty.
Boo, 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 thank you.
Yes, and the Emperor energy, I'll say it this way, not everyone's there. Some people are still in the princess. Some people are in the queen, king, and you know, there is like my journey for the past few months, and it's a very interesting